All right, we are live. Hey guys, EVP Man here, and today we're going to talk about a brand new surprise launch. And I think many of you are also surprised about this as well. And we are talking about the xTool F2 Ultra. Now, you guys know that we are super fans when it comes to laser engraving, UV printing, any kind of makerspace, as well as all the consumer electronics that we review on the channel. But this one took us by surprise. So woke up this morning, saw the email, went onto the website, and what was even more surprising is that this brand new laser for the xTool F2 Ultra is going to be available next month. And let's face it, it's June 30th. Next month is just a few days away. It's going to be really, really quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a first impression video. We're going to take a look at the site. We're going to see what improvements they've made, because let's face it, the F2 or the F1 Ultra is a great laser. They did many things right with that laser. Full enclosure, having the built-in camera, having the dual lasers. And I'd say in many cases, xTool to the laser community is what Bamboo Labs was or is to the 3D printing community, really pushing the mark and driving innovation and competition in a way that no other brand has in that space. So I'm really excited to see the continued innovation. And xTool not only has done this, let's say, with example, with the F1 laser series, but they've done it with their apparel printer. They also have their metal fab type solution for metal cutting, for those of you who are into that more industrial, large scale type product. So what we're going to do is let's take a closer look. We're going to jump in and take a look at what the F2 Ultra is really all about. And for those of you who are watching the live stream now, if you have any questions, you know what? Ask away. This is pretty incredible. And by the way, I have in the actual descriptions, I have links for those of you who are interested in taking advantage of the actual discounts that are available, because $50 deposit, which is refundable, is going to give you the ability to get a significant savings, I believe up to $700. So let's go ahead and jump in there right now. I'm going to go ahead and switch over, and we'll bring this into the feed right now. Here we go. So this is the xTool F2 Ultra. A couple things that stand out. First of all, it's a 60-watt MOPA and a 40-watt diode. And for those of you who are asking yourself this question right now, do I need this? Frankly, no. If you have an F2 Ultra or an F1 Ultra, the benefit of getting the MOPA and just the diode with the higher wattage just means that you're going to be able to complete the tasks you have today faster. Does it bring in new capabilities? With the MOPA, it brings in color. But honestly, as a business owner myself, we don't really see high demand for color in our space. So you'll need to ask yourself as a business owner, is color engraving something that could either upgrade your business, or is it something that has been in demand for your business and you just haven't been able to satisfy it? So for us personally, what we see is the power is what we're excited about. The 60 watt and the 40 watt means that we are going to be able to complete tasks much sooner. And that may be the case for you. And that may be the reason why you get excited about this product as well. And that's frankly what excites me. The other thing I like is I really like this grown-up look. I like the departure from the green and the shielding that they have going on here. Just the overall aesthetics are pretty nice. So as we take a look at it, really, this deal that they have is going to end in 8 days. Take advantage of our affiliate links. We do get recognized by xTool for this. Doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us continue to bring content like this to both our media groups as well as YouTube. So 8 days to go. Let's say what we're talking about. Now, the numbers are big, guys. The numbers are not small in any way. So as we look at this, you're looking at a 60-watt MOPA with a 40-watt diode laser. With the $50, you get a discount that brings you down to $5,799. This is really, even though some will look at the xTool line as maybe not industrial in nature, this is not a consumer product. This is not, in my opinion, personally, I don't believe it's a hobbyist solution. If you have the coin to drop $6,000, I think that you want to use this for business. Now, is $5,799 something that can really be paid off in a business with a solid business model? The answer is yes. So if you're looking at getting an investment to your business and upgrading your business, maybe you have the F1 laser and you'd like to be able to get a larger bed, more power and more speed, then I think this is going to be a solid yes. You'll also notice that they have a 60-watt MOPA version only. I'll tell you guys, a single version doesn't attract me. Because I want to be able to do wood coasters. I want to be able to do cutting boards. I want to be able to do all the things I do today on my F1 Ultra in the F2. And that's a combination of both materials. So if you're to ask me which one should you go with and you can afford it, it's not that much of a bump more, I would go with the actual diode and MOPA combination. That's the way to go. All right, so let's see what else we have going on here. So you can see here, it looks like the rotary, they have color capabilities. This is going to be an interesting thing to see because, as I mentioned, I'm not really a super fan on color. I just feel that it takes too much time. And my process when it comes to running our business, Nola and his business, is really about speed. Color takes a little bit too much time. I find that color is not something that we can reproduce fast and get out the door. So that's why color isn't something that's super excited to us. But as you can see here, there's a couple things. So you have that dual laser solution. You could get color. We'll see what the real speed looks like if we're able to get our hands on one of these. And then the other thing that we'll see is the cameras. Now, cameras for me are the biggest advantage that xTool has had amongst all lasers. And you guys know we review a lot of different lasers on our channel. The actual camera, having an accurate camera is really, really important. If you can have an accurate camera, it's going to allow you to have more precision. It's going to give you the ability to work with more batch or bulk items, and it lets you work with smaller items as well. The big difference here, and you're going to see this, is that it has 2 cameras. So that should give you ultra precision when it comes to being able to place items and getting the alignment right. For us, one of the things that speaks business and professionalism is having consistency in our engrave, having things aligned. So if you have 50 of the same thing, all of them align. And we go through a painstaking process in order to get that. And I like the fact that it has those 2 cameras, 48 megapixels, that's going to ensure that you can get that consistency, right? So that's cool. And then obviously the color, working with jewelry, as you can see here, is also pretty hot. I don't really do a lot of Challenger coins. You'll see in this video as it continues to loop and play, they show the Challenger coins. We're not really big into the Challenger coins. It's too time consuming and the return on it isn't really high. These are collectible items. You have to charge a lot for the machine time and the dedicated time that you have to spend in the actual cutting and also embossing. The other thing is that embossing coins is dirty. It is really, really dirty. The amount of material, if you're dealing with copper, if you're dealing with steel, depending on what type of material that you're going through, is significant. So you have to worry about what's the cost of your filters. If you're shooting it outdoor, you have to have somewhere to contain it. So we are not really big on coins. I do have friends who are, but they have lasers that are 200-watt fiber or 200-watt MOBAs, and those can crank through coins in no time. But you have to have higher wattage. They claim that it's faster. It'd be interesting to test and see how much faster it is. So let's take a look at all the highlights that they have here. There's quite a bit going on here. First of all, they have up to 100 colors with one click. So I wonder if they'll have in their material guide, in their software, the ability to just pick your colors. You know, that's a big difference when you come to what xTool has done, because they were one of the first to really provide an extensive material guide. They also then have some AI. All right, so we're going to see what the AI, because they've had AI before where they've been able to, across multiple solutions, kind of like have your image show up on multiple keychains, on multiple pencils, those kind of things. They've done that before. So we'll have to see what the new spin on AI is going to be here. And then over here, you can see the material library that they have. They are, in my opinion, as a company, have the most robust material library, hands down. They've created it themselves, and they've also allowed community to contribute to it. So if one of the most frustrating parts about laser engraving is getting that first engrave. And with the xTool line, it's easy peasy. It does happen. Over here, you can look at the metal projects options, and you can see the embossing from marking to engraving to then embossing. The dual camera, love that. The conveyor belt. I am a fan, but I'm kind of lukewarm on the conveyor belt. I like more the F1 model where you have the bed that moves left to right than the conveyor belt, because I don't know, just for me, I just was never able to get really into it, but it does give you expandability. And maybe with the new AI, it's even going to be more precision there, more precise. I just found some challenges with ours, honestly. This is the one thing that intrigues me. 15,000 millimeters per second. Now, the question that many of you may ask is that speed even possible? It is. And I checked with several of my sources. I have a really good friend that is in the laser business and literally high-end industrial grade lasers. And he tells me 15,000 is possible, but you have to have a certain type of source that's going to be able to do it. And the source to do that speed is around $5,000. $5,000 for something that can engrave that fast. So I'm really, really looking forward to being able to test that and see, is that 15,000 millimeters per second true? And more importantly, can you get 15 millimeters per second with quality? Because let's face it, we do a lot of 3D printing reviews, and the 3D printing reviews that we do, everybody claims 600 millimeters per second, 10,000 millimeters per second when it comes to movement left and right. But what we found is that when you run in those speeds, you don't get quality. Yeah, you can do it, but you're not going to get the speed. Or the quality that you actually need. So the question is, with those capabilities that you see there, are you truly going to be able to get that quality? I don't know. So, that's going to be something that I'm definitely going to want to see, and I know many of you will as well. So let's see what else we have going on here. So speed is something that I'm really interested in. I love the safety, and this is also something I think that xTool also was one of the leaders when it came to providing safe laser environments. Having an enclosure, like when they first started, they were open gantry, which in my opinion is not a safe lasering environment. Yes, you had covers. People were doing a DIY type solution for many of these. The fact that you can actually, the fact that it's fully enclosed, the fact that it has an extraction unit, all those things make laser engraving safer. And then also, if you want to have this in a retail public setting, which a lot of people are, I work with a lot of companies where are looking for consulting, that they want to expand their business to do personalization, and they want to be in shopping malls. They want to be in open areas where customers are going to be present, right? Not just if you think about the farmers market type people or the people that are working in specific vending solutions, but I'm talking about the malls where you walk in and there's somebody in the middle of the aisle who's actually engraving. And you've all seen the crystal glasses where they have those cubes where they have people engraved inside. That's a laser. But you have to think about when that laser is running. I don't think I've ever seen a cube 3D laser booth running in real time. Every time I pass by, there's nothing going on. And if there's people talking, I never see a machine running. So I don't know if they do it real time there. So having something that is FDA certified, something that's enclosed, something that has a shield, and let's face it, I love the AP2. It's one of my go-to air purifiers. This is going to be great for those of you who want to do things in public areas. And then here you see some of the color aspects. Again, I love it, but I don't know if it fits my business model. I don't know if it's going to be fast enough for me. All right, so let's just keep on going over here. Definitely, when you look at this, the 60-watt MOPA is going to be able to do, all of your metals, which is going to be great. Cutting as well as in marking, annealing, which is a process that basically, as you mark jewelry, annealing ensures or reduces the chance of oxidation, right? So that's something that you'll be able to do there. And then what we have over here is your 40-watt diode, and we're talking about all different types of materials really expanded. Now, I don't know, and this will be the interesting thing to see, is how well will this do with acrylic, right? Because literally acrylic, CO2 is the way to go with acrylic. There's going to be certain things that you can do, and you can see that you have glass, you have acrylic, but you notice that the acrylic that they have in this display or this image is not clear, right? And it's green. So it will be interesting to see what they'll be able to support. Rock is something that we do a lot. You notice that there's fabric. You'll notice that there's also, I don't know what this is over here, but you'll be able to do PLA, you'll be able to do PETG, you'll be able to do 3D printed material. But this really opens things up for you, and the power is definitely there. And you can see here This is the kind of stuff that you can expect. Obviously, not at those speeds that's sped up, but you'll be able to get these type of color. And if if something like this took, let's say at this power, I don't know, 2 minutes. I think it would fit my business model. If this is going to take 15 minutes, I can't wait 15 minutes for a dog tag to be done. That just doesn't make sense for me. If you feel differently, let me know in the comments area. I would love to hear if you feel that is, that's what's going on, right? So you can go ahead. So let's go ahead and see what else we have going on here. Challenger coins, what we talked about. They say under the same 100% power, xTool F2 Ultra outperforms traditional lasers, delivering 3 times the speed. Yeah, but what is that? What is the end product timeline? So great solution, but can something like this be done in maybe 15 minutes, 10 minutes? We'll have to see. It looks like the detail is greater for the same amount of time spent, which I like, but it's still going to be that quality. Cutting material, 2 millimeters metal. Notice that 60 watts, obviously, for sure, with that kind of power, you're going to be able to get it. The question is going to be is, can you do it without warping, right? The challenge that we have here is that I don't see any kind of air assist. And let's face it, all of us, those of us who have been working with lasers for some time, will jerry rig something to provide some cooling because the metal warps with heat. So there's, it's not just about power, it's power, speed, and making sure that things don't overheat. But that's pretty impressive that it can cut something like that. And you'll notice here they have some other options here. Look at this 20 millimeter acrylic. That is insane. I'm trying to think about what would I have that would be 20 millimeters that I would need to create for somebody. That's crazy. But, it'll be interesting to see what the experience is here. Now, here we have 23 millimeter wood. That's thick wood and UV, because a at quality and which material types. 115% larger size, 220 by 220. That's big, guys. That's going to give you the ability to engrave massive material quantity from a batch perspective. You guys know we're all about jigs, and I'll include links to our jigs in the actual description. So a large jig that you can hold, 40 bottle openers is incredible, especially if you have the size. It just speeds things up. More efficient, right? So you have that conveyor system. We'll have to see what's improved in the conveyor system. And I'm wondering, is the conveyor system for the F1 Ultra compatible with the F2 Ultra? Because a lot of us have them. So can you use them? If you can, I think that's going to be a win-win too, right? So here are some of the things that they're highlighting. Last things, the fact that it has dual lasers. If you're going to get one, get the dual lasers. Stretch for that. The fact that it has MOPA. MOPA is just it's a form of laser, unlike the previous version, which was a fiber-based one. The MOPA just means that it has the frequency range, the range of the laser itself is going to be broader, and it's going to give you the ability to do color. If you could do it fast, and I think it's worth it. So that's something to consider. I'm excited about the 48 megapixel dual camera for accuracy, because that's something that kind of I struggle with. The embossing is good for those of you who are into that kind of stuff. Cutting thick materials, I need to see you do it, and do it char-free, right? Didn't see chars there, and I don't know how accurate that is. 15,000 millimeters per second. Again, at quality, question mark. And then all drives, again, all these capabilities. It looks like a very familiar form factor where you can just click and go. So here are all the settings, or all of the features that we just reviewed. Let me know what you think. Is this your laser? Is this your upgrade? Are you going to go from the F1 to the F2 Ultra? Are you going to go from the F1 Lite to the F2 Ultra? Or are those of you out there that are going to go from the actual, let's say the F1 Ultra, right, to the F2? All right, we have a question here. Let's see what Mark has asked. It says, can you explain what MOPA is? Sure. So Mark, MOPA is a laser type that allows you or gives you the ability to literally engrave in color. The actual laser itself, as it is marking the material, has the range to be able to give you other colors. So if you think about purple, orange, green, yellow, red, white, and blue, if you are looking to create a flag, you can accomplish certain colors with the existing laser, but it's a little bit more difficult. And also what you run into is you don't really get the truest colors, the deepest colors. With this, you're going to be able to do that. With this laser, because it's a MOPA laser, you'll be able to get green greens, yellow yellows, orange oranges. And especially if we think about what xTool is going to be doing, at least the way they have the material library, you should be able to get this. And again, you can get it today in your F1 Ultra. You can get it with your F1, but it takes time. It's a time-consuming process, and it's not one that, it all depends on what your business model is. It may not suit your business model. So you have to ask yourself, this is just my advice to you, right? If you are considering this laser, think about more than just color. All right, color is great. Ask yourself, can you sell more if you have color? Ask yourself, can you charge more if you have color? Ask yourself, what is the speed of creating the color? Because if adding color to your product adds your production time by 20, 40, or an hour, is it worth it still, right? Because it's going to cut your margins. It's going to cut your time before that product leaves the door. Ask yourself those questions. Now, erasing color from my mind, because I actually have, in our workshop, we have a 100-watt MOPA laser, right? And I will tell you personally, we don't do that much color. We do black marking, right? It's great for that. It's going to be able to do tumblers super fast. It's like crazy fast because you have that power. And because you have more power, you have more speed. So if you're using an F1 Ultra, or an F1 Lite, or even, some of the other lasers, like if you think about the S1 lasers or the M1, power and speed go hand in hand. If you go too fast and you don't have enough power, you're not going to mark. So the fact that you have this very powerful laser means that you're going to be able to go faster. And fast equals time to money, time to revenue. The faster you can get that product out the door, the quicker you can put money in your pocket. So that's what I'm attracted about, or what excites me about this laser is the speed more than the MOPA color capabilities. Just my opinion, right? Let me know what you think. Are you really excited about color? If you are, share with everybody what projects do you work on that is color based? And if you today do color, what's your upside? Are you making more money? Are you able to charge $10 more, $20 more, $30 more for a product? Because those are the business decisions that you need to ask yourself if you're considering this product. What is the upside for your business? If there's no upside, then you may not consider upgrading, right? Camera accuracy. How much time do you spend moving a part around? Let's say, I have some parts here. Let's say you're working with a part like this. How much time do you spend doing one of these things, right? Trying to get it accurate. Do you care about positioning? For me, that's another big win here. If I can get product aligned, sized, and out the door faster, that's a win, right? So think about that. So you'll have to pick each one of these pieces up and pick them apart and figure out which one makes the most sense. I'll invite you guys all. We have a Facebook group. I'm going to show you our Facebook group that like you guys to check out. And this Facebook group is for makers. We actually have 2 groups that you can come and join. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to bring it up on camera in a second so that you guys can see this group in 1 minute. And let's go ahead and switch now back to that. This group right here, this is a group we have around 8,000, what is it? Almost, 7.9 thousand, almost 8,000 members. And in this group, we talk about jigs, different projects that we're creating. And you'll notice that this group is not just about one specific brand, but it's about a whole bunch of different brands. And really what we are all about as we run our business is volume, speed, and how quickly we can get a product out the door. So all the jigs, all the things that we create are about that. How fast can we get something out? And, and then how do you monetize it? So if that's something that you're really into, you want to know how you can make more money faster, join our group. And if you're looking to get precision and you're looking to get accuracy and you're looking to repeatability, and you're the type of person that when you have something, like for example, we have a jig like this that's tied to a koozie, and you'd like to be able to do 75 koozies, and all of your koozies are aligned perfectly. So when your customer gets them and they take them out of the box and they look at them, they go, wow, right? Not that your koozies have engravings that are up, down, left, and right, not 100% in the same spot. That's how we stand out from the competition, not by having the cheapest price, not by being the most expensive, but by providing precision. Everything aligns. And you'd be surprised when people get these products out and they open them up and they put them next to each other and they see everything is precise. It basically means return business. So make sure you check out our group. We will definitely be supporting the F1 or the F2 Ultra when that comes out, and having jigs for that too, to just make sure you guys can take advantage of it. This is our first video. I have a message out to xTool. It's their nighttime, asking them for more details. Also, those of you who are interested, we've been doing a lot of reviews on UV printing. So if you're looking to upgrade your business and you want to be able to do UV, check us out as well, because there's a lot going on in UV. And I'll tell you, that's one product line that I'll tell you upgrades your business immediately, and it turns it into profit fast. So see you in the next video. Check us out. Make sure you subscribe. Check out our affiliate links. Help us out. Help us grow, and share with your friends. Talk to you guys later.